So throughout the years that I've been working with this specific population, dementia or cognitive impairments, they say, there is a sense of, I should say, a lack of independence on their part. So what happens is most often these people become prisoners in their own body. Some are not able to talk. Some can only talk through the expression of music or art. What I found was when I was doing my internships, I found that that was a way that most of the individuals expressed themselves. It wasn't so much, I ask you how you are feeling today. They're not going to be able to give me an answer like we would be having a conversation. Maybe it would be a shrug, or maybe it would be a noise that they would make, or a clap. You know, some of the individuals that I worked with could only clap, and that was a way of expressing themselves. So what I discovered is I had to learn a different way of communication with these people. These individuals, they have families, you know, they have their loved ones and their caregivers, but when you're working with them 24/7, you're also their family. So what I had to do was I had to come in every day and I had to learn how to talk to these people. If they're not going to talk to me, how can I communicate? How am I going to be effective? And what I'm trying to do is to try to help people. So what I decided to do was we're going to live in the moment. And when we started singing or dancing or listening to a certain song, you would see such a change in these individuals. You know, I had one gentleman that I worked with at the nursing home, and he played piano his whole entire life, and he was in his 90s, and his family was just like, can we get him to play? You know, is there any way we can get him to play? And he was on the 3rd floor, and he was in his wheelchair, and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? How can I get a keyboard up here? This isn't gonna happen. We had a beautiful piano downstairs. So the one day, I was just like, we're gonna do it. We're going downstairs, we're gonna get in the elevator, and you're gonna play the piano. And there's so much resistance, so much, you know, stomping of the feet, like, no, I can't do that anymore. You know, look at me, I'm an old man. When they would say that to me, I would just be like, I understand that's where you're coming from, but we're gonna do this and we're gonna have fun. And sometimes you gotta push a little bit, put a little fire under the butt. So we went down there, and it was incredible to see the way that he sat down, and he was hesitant at first, and I think it was more of an ego thing, because I feel like once you're in that environment, whether it's a nursing home or a memory care, whether you're aware of it or not, your ego is you know, can be damaged. It can be because your independence is taken away. So he probably felt like he couldn't do this anymore. And once I saw him start to play, his bony fingers just started going and going and going. And sure enough, I would hear from, you know, other care workers and other residents and family members that he would be down there, and he would take himself down there, and he would go on the elevator and go down there and play. And it's not so much about improving the state of the disease because there is no cure. It's more about, you know, taking the situation that you're given, whether it is good or bad, and in this case it's usually bad, and you try to find the good in it. And that's my philosophy. You know, every person that I've worked with, whether they stomped their feet at me and they didn't want to do something fun or be positive or laugh, I would just keep encouraging them. And part of that is the social work aspect. It is the engagement. It's, you know, seeing what can help and what can't. And with that case, I knew I could push a little bit, and sure enough, that helped in that situation. And whether he lived 3 more years, 2 more years, 1 more year, that, you know, that moment for him can't be taken away. And I think there's so much to be spoken about that. You're not really making those memories anymore. You're making the moment-to-moment interaction and bringing out the emotion in a human being.